Good morning to those who listen. July 29, 2020, 2 a.m. It's actually a little bit before that, but by the time you see it, it'll be 2 a.m. or later. I'm going over the whole Martha Plimpton connection with a whole lot of things and what it could possibly mean. I'm going to recap the whole situation and then add in the new details that I have. So maybe there's some connections and maybe even a possible connection to The Last Man on Earth, which I'm going to do another video on The Last Man on Earth again because it was so predictive. And there's more stuff since the last time I did the video. I got some more updates on that too. Okay, so this all happened back in 1989, started in 1989, guessing February or March of 1989. I met this girl at a party. It wasn't really a party, more of a get-together, I guess, back in Orlando, actually Winter Park, Florida, which is a suburb. And this girl that I wound up kissing, weird story. We were talking for a while, and she said she was an actress. She said she was in an episode of Family Ties, which I found out she was in a lot of other stuff too, but didn't know who she was back then. And it took me 31 years to realize it. But it was Martha Plimpton, and so I called that one video I Kissed a Goonie, but it took me 31 years to realize it. So I don't know what was going on, how she came over to my house, but she was filming the movie Parenthood with Steve Martin and a bunch of other people at that same time, literally less than 5 miles away from where I was living. So it was a weird thing. But it was weird. The whole thing was weird because it took me so long to even realize it because of the show Family Ties. And back then, in 89, there was no reruns of it back then. Oops. So let me put this up there real quick. There. Okay, so she played in an episode of Family Ties, and I believe it was December 19th of 1989. So this actually came out, 1985. Wait a minute. Well, anyway, she filmed it before, I guess. Where was it at? Gotta get my stuff together here. I know I wrote it down somewhere. Was it 85? Was it 85? Yeah, it was in 85, sorry. December of 85. And she was also in The Goonies in 1985. That came out on June 7th. Okay. So anyway, let me go through my stuff here. Make sure I'm not skipping something. Blah, blah, blah. I'm not going to go into all the details of what happened. For some reason, it was weird, though. I was really attracted to her. We started talking, and then the next thing I know, I was taking her off into the bedroom, and we were kissing. But if she would have just told me that she was in Parenthood or The Goonies, I would have figured it out. Okay, so on July 2nd, I was looking through shows on CBS All Access, and I saw that they had all the episodes of Family Ties. So I found the episode from season 4, episode 11, December 19th, 1985. There's You've Got a Friend. And I watched the whole thing, and then I watched at the end, and there's the credits, and there's Martha Plimpton, and then I was like, oh my goodness. I looked up all her other stuff. She was also in, obviously, Raising Hope. Remember that series on TV? That was a great show. Let's see. Blah, 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 blah. So at the time, I didn't even realize that who I met until way afterwards. Because she didn't mention the other movies, but all right. Blah, blah, blah. So, the big thing was why did I just discover this now? I could have discovered it, 5 years ago, 10 years ago, 20 years ago, but it took me that long, which is really crazy. Let's see what else. Parenthood premiered August 2nd, 1989, but it was filmed back January 31st through April 4th, which might have another connection too. All right, going back here. So there's lots of connections here. So Martha Plimpton, some details that might be important is November 16th, 1970 is when she was born. I don't think that 1970 is important, but it will be 50. She'll be 50 years old on that date. Now, there's also a chance that November 16th or November 17th or both, it might be 2020 or it could be 2021, and I'll get into that a little bit later. So, let's see. She was Keanu Reeves was also in it. She was her boyfriend in there, and he was also Neo in The Matrix, and Neo-wise Comet was just seen. So I'm thinking that the Keanu Reeves Neo and the Neo-wise Comet were a connection just to the time that is now, this time period in the last month, not even that. So when I went down the street to see I wasn't looking for it, but I looked at the movie theater sign and it said the Goonies were going to be there. So I thought that was another weird sign. And that was on Wednesday, July 8th. And also on the same day, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. had an episode, July 8th, which was called The Totally Excellent Adventure. Let me get this out of the way. Totally Excellent Adventure of Mac and the D. And the episode was about Mac getting stranded in 1982. There's a couple pictures of her real quick. Throw it in there. There's the Goonies. And that's her in Parenthood. So that would have been at the time. I was 21, turning 22. I think I was probably just turned 22, and she was 18. But I think it was meant for me to find out now instead of 5 years ago, a year ago, 10 years ago, whatever. That's her in there, and there's Keanu Reeves. And there's some more stuff that's really crazy, too. Now Keanu Reeves has a movie coming out, Bill and Ted Face the Music, and that's supposed to come on August 28th. There's Neo-wise. I think there's also a connection between River Phoenix. When I went to see the movie, there was 3 trailers. One was for Greenland, which is weird because of all the meteors and stuff, and then comets. The Comet was in the movie, Comet Clark. And then there was Bill and Ted Face the Music, and there was also Back to the Future, Part 4 that's coming out. Let's see what else. Okay, so then watching the show Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. And it starts out right at the beginning, too. River's End, 1982. River's End maybe refers to River Phoenix. And Martha Plimpton was involved with the Phoenix brothers. And also Joaquin Phoenix was in Parenthood as her brother. Okay, move it forward, please. Oh, no. Trying to get this to move forward. Okay. Then, for some reason, they show this name tag, Feldman Electronics, and his name was Russell. So Corey Feldman, was also in The Goonies with Martha Plimpton. And then Russell, which I knew would mean something, I believe refers to Comet Russell. It's Comet 156/Russell Linear. I think it's linear, not non-linear, linear. I got it on there. Yeah, there it is, linear. And for some reason, it's going to be at its brightest or best visibility October through November, but mainly on November 16th going into early 17th during the Leonids meteor shower. So maybe all this is referring to that, November 16th of 2020. Or it could mean 2021, and I'll get to that in a little bit. Going through the rest of this. Oh, don't need that. Just a car. Swayze's Bar may be referring to Patrick Swayze. Roadhouse, maybe. And then Coulson in here. Long story short, he blew himself up, but they saved his hard drive. And back in 1982 and 83, they put him into like a max headroom situation. So the max headroom is related to April 4th, 1985. April 4th, 89 was the last day they filmed Parenthood. Breakfast Club came out. They did a song in there, Don't You Forget About Me. One of the guys in the Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., he created a band and did 80s music, because they were from the future and went back and knew all the songs. But Don't You Forget About Me, which was from the Breakfast Club, which came out on February 15th, 1985, which was my birthday. Don't know if that has anything to do with anything. Probably not, but just threw that in there. And they had these robots that were trying to kill him. And it just reminded me of Short Circuit, but it was number 5, not number 3. And I don't have any idea if that shark has anything to do with anything there. Okay, get rid of that. And how does it show 2 people are here? Let me go through some more stuff. This was kind of long, so I'm trying to make it as short as possible. And then we'll definitely do the other one, the Last Man on Earth. Let's see. Also, another thing, Jacob Israel did a video about Neowise going into Bernice's hair. There was Queen Bernice of Egypt way back in, I believe it was 300 BC. She was worried that her husband going into battle would get killed, so she pledged that if her husband would come back safely, that she would cut off all her hair, and she did because he came back safely. And then somebody stole her hair that was, I guess, on a mantle or a table or whatever. But then one day, one of the servants, I guess, said, "Look in the sky, Queen. It's your hair." And they named the constellation after her hair. And supposedly it's the only constellation that was named after an actual person. So that could have something to do with it too, because Martha Plimpton, when she was shooting Parenthood, was bald because she shaved her head for a role in the previous movie that she did before that. Comet Clark. Also another thing too, in Greenland, the meteors of the fragments of Comet Clark hit Orlando, which, Central Florida, and that's where Parenthood was filmed. So there's another connection there. Let's see. Sean Astin was Mikey in the Goonies. He was also in the Lord of the Rings. Samwise. I don't know if that has anything to do with like Neowise or something. Moving on. Okay, blah, blah, blah. Blah, blah, blah. What else do I got for this? Sorry, I gotta get through my lot of notes. Okay, there was some more stuff here. Here's the new updates that I found. There was somebody that had a prophecy. They had a dream, a vision, Henry Groover, and it was around 1986. It's weird they said around 1986, so maybe it could be 85, just to fit more of the connection. But he had a vision of an invasion of America by the hands of Russia, China, and I got this from God Rules. And Russia moved by sea and air from the north to destroy America by nerve gas and nuclear weapons. The Russians steal materials and will spoil the U.S. after the destruction. Death toll 121 million, 60%. And then the Chinese invaded through Astoria, Oregon, and they came by sea, invading the land, which reminds me of Red Dawn. They invaded, and when the Chinese landed in America, Any civilians they saw were instantly shot and killed. And this may be related to the Gog Magog, because Gogland is in Russia, and that's where Putin was born. But what was weird about Astoria, it's like a little seaport right on the border of Oregon and Washington. And scenes from the Goonies was off the Oregon coast, filmed 25 or 26 miles south of Astoria at Ecola State Park, Cannon Beach. And there's a scene from Point Break from that same beach, Keanu Reeves, another connection there. But a lot of the movie was shot in Astoria, Oregon. So that was really another weird coincidence there. Where else? Okay. Then, all right, then I got to go over here and share the screen again for this over here. Then a friend mentioned something to look this up. Dark, the series Dark on Netflix. And I had everything ready to go, but so Dark is a, where did I put this? Okay. It's like factions are fighting for control of time travel. It's set in Winden, Germany, and families are interconnected thanks to a 33-year cycle. So I think they used the year 33 because of the number 33. But it's kind of strange. They're like going through time, 33 years differences also. And it's, what is it? 2019. And then they go back to 1986, and then another 33 years back to 1953. Now, the connection that, let me see, is there anything else? And their thing that they had the apocalypse starting on June 27th of 2020. There was a girl in this named Martha, which is actually Marta, but close to the Martha, like maybe in the connection for Martha Plimpton again. And her last name was Nielsen. Don't know if that could be a connection too. And then there was another family named Doppler radar. Another weird thing there. Okay, so their thing was 33 years, but they went from 2019, and then it goes back to 1986, and then back to 1953. Now, my connections were 31 years apart, 2020, back to 1989, and then if you went back another 31 years, you get 1958. So I'm looking to see if there's any connections in here. Also, if you took 31 years from when Dark started, it would be 2017, and it would equal the 1986, and then 1955. So I'm looking up to see if there's any connections between the 31 years from the 2020, the 1989, and the 1958. The invasion of Panama happened in both of those years. There was the Berlin crisis in 1958, and then the Berlin Wall went down in 1989. There was a Niger Delta oil pollution and the Exxon Valdez. So there's some oil spills. Let's see. In 1989, the Human Gene Transfer RNA and first www server and CERN browser. And in Dark, they're dealing with the God particle. Now that relates to CERN. So there's some new details there. Is that it? I think that's it. I wanted to also show you, well, let's show these pictures real quick. There's like a family tree that they're going through. I haven't watched it. I just watched trailers of it, but it looks very strange. Now this, what's it called? A triquetra. I got that too. Let me go back here. Switch it off real fast. Bloom. And bloom. Boom. And boom. And there. Okay. So we got this. which are like a knot or a loops. And the loops represent each 33 years in this case. So I'm not going to go through the whole thing here, but it's a triangular figure composed of 3 interlaced arcs. The Vessia Pisces lens shapes. And I thought, just throwing this out there, I don't think it has anything to do with it, but Sun Simulator. All right. And let's see. Simple as possible, not. There's a lot of history behind it. So in this one, dark, it symbolizes the cave's closed time loops, with each year being 33 years apart, with the past affecting the future and the future influencing the past. It's a very significant symbolic value to time travelers. So, I don't know if there's anything to that or not. Anybody else got some suggestions? But there's what I got for Martha Plimpton connection. I don't think there's anything else there. I think I got everything in here. But there was some weird new stuff that I found. Just actually, I've had it for a little while. Just finally getting around to putting it out. I'm just looking real fast through the stuff, see if there's anything else I might have missed. But let me know what you guys think. Oh, I think that all of this is possibility relating to November 16th, November 17th of either 2020 because of the Russell Comet Russell linear, which is going to be like at its most visible point at that point, or possibly November 16th, 17th of 2021. And I'll show you how that relates to the Last Man on Earth. And I don't remember her name, but the main woman that plays in there, she was also in Bob's Burgers and in The Last Man on Earth. She's also now going to be in Bill and Ted's Face the Music movie. And Mary Steenburgen is also in The Last Man on Earth, and she was also in Parenthood. So there's some more connections there too. And I guess that's about it. Let me look really quick. I think that's it. But maybe it's referring to that or some more future events in 2021, and I will explain that in the next video about The Last Man on Earth. So that's it for now. Thanks for watching.